for 2 months of Cespedes. Then they traded Cespedes off for Porcello. And, man, just all kinds of wheeling and dealing. This has been one of the most active winter meetings in a long time. I think there were 12 major people trading, transactions going back and forth. And that's just the confirmed stuff, not even some of the ones that haven't been officially announced yet. A lot of teams how about the Dodgers? They're making all kinds of moves there. A lot of people were rumoring that Kemp might be a good trade option here. I'm like, yeah, well, we know that that's not happening. But anyways, he ends up trading. A lot of stuff going on, man. And Indians made the one deal with Moss, but I still think several shoes left to fall here on that one before the Tribe's done. We'll talk about all of that next week. We'll talk about the fallout of this one and more. Jeff Gorman, and looking forward to it.
All right, sounds like a play, J-Rock. You have a great weekend.
You got it. My man Jeff Gorman, as always, you guys can check him out on Browns101.com and on Twitter at Jeff D. Gorman and at Browns_101. When we come back, I think the BSK is going to be in the house. I've got to catch up and make sure we're still good. But in the meantime, I've got fantasy football for winners. It's coming your way, not next, but now. Right now, my man, BJ Riddell, brings it to you. Playoff edition, fantasy football for winners. We'll be back after the break with more Sports Fix.
It's time to get your fantasy fix from the Sports Fix.
J-Rock, how you doing? Good to be back. Week 15. We are almost at the end. For those folks out there doing daily leagues, or if you're in the fantasy playoffs, obviously this week matters as much as any week because we are in it. Quick shout out for last week, and before the show, J-Rock gave me a pat on the back, so I felt it'd be okay to mention the Raiders defense on this show. This was the only show, Sports Fix, where a guest came on and said, start the Raiders defense last week. And anyone in a daily league who grabbed them got a top 6 fantasy defense out of the worst defense in the league. So in this league, it's all about timing. And heading into this week, we see a bunch of players where timing is on their side. A few players, timing is not. Eddie Lacy may not play. Even if he does, I would bench him for about 25 other running backs. I don't like his matchup. I don't like his bum hip. I think James Starks proved last week he's an able backup, as able as ever. I wouldn't start Lamar Miller. I don't trust him against the Patriots defense. I think he's going to get maybe 35, 40 yards. He will bust people up if you start him in your semifinal or final matchup. On my blog, I had mentioned earlier this week, Kerwin Williams was not going to repeat what he did. He did all right yesterday, but it wasn't someone you wanted to hang your hat on. Some folks that you want to focus on this week who are very underrated. Derek Anderson threw 2 touchdowns, looked good in week 1 when he took over for Cam Newton, quarterback. Look, he's a career okay quarterback. He did great in Cleveland for a few weeks, I remember, a few years ago. A lot of you might remember that. He's going to be good. He may not be amazing, but I think he's going to be a top 12 guy, and that makes him a worthwhile starter, especially in those daily leagues where he's a bargain. Johnny Manziel is also a big bargain. I talked about him in my Sports Illustrated article a few days ago. He is a guy whose ceiling is high in part because he is talented and in part because he has Josh Gordon and a healthy Jordan Cameron and a decent run game. We shouldn't expect the sky for Johnny Manziel. He's a rookie after all. He's coming in and he's trying to do as much as he can in very short notice. Given the fact that he's been waiting and now he's stepping in. But I think it's realistic to expect about 200, 250 total yards and a couple scores this week against the Bengals. On the receiving end, Kamar Aiken. Torrey Smith doesn't play. Kamar Aiken can be a very interesting play at receiver. Same thing if Percy Harvin doesn't play for the Jets. I wrote on my blog today that Jeremy Curley will surprise a ton of people this week as a WR2. No one's talking about Jeremy Curley except me on the Sports Fix. And finally, Marcus Wilson, who has taken over for Brandon Marshall as the number 2 guy in Chicago. He hasn't done much of anything, but the sky's the limit for this guy. He's a good young player, and I think he'll get a chance to get some run. On the defensive side, I've gone out on a limb this week. The Patriots defense will do what I think a few people might think they could do, but I'm telling you, they will do it. They will destroy the Dolphins. It's not even going to be close. It'll be something like 45-10. Ryan Tannehill is just not a great quarterback. He's third or fourth worst in the NFL at yards per attempt. You're going to need a lot more than that to try to get by the Patriots. I can see Tannehill and company getting desperate by the second half, and I think the Patriots are going to steamroll them. I'm picking the Patriots as my number one defense this week, even over Seattle. Think about the last 5 weeks, they've played the Broncos, Lions, Colts, and Packers, and they've come out looking decent. Not great, but decent. And the defensive end. Imagine what they'll do at home against the Dolphins. One last little stat. I looked it up right before this show, J-Rock, so I could share it with you all first. A Tom Brady-led Patriots team has never been swept by the Dolphins. You have to go back to 2000 with Drew Bledsoe. Last time Dolphins won home and road in one season against the Patriots. Patriots lost week 1 to the Dolphins. They're going to crush them this time. So that's all for me. Keep an eye on my blog, Facebook, Fantasy Football for Winners. It's got about 2,300 people reading it every day. And on Twitter at BJ Rudell. J-Rock, have a great weekend, and good luck if you're doing your daily leagues.
I'll tell you what you're gonna do, brother. You're gonna listen to the Sports Fix, cause the old Gus said so.
Hey guys, before we go to the break, I want to talk to you a little bit again about our good friends at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, some of the hottest fights in the world today. Each and every one of their huge events, Harry Buffalo is one of the few places in Northeast Ohio you can go there and watch each and every UFC fight at the Harry Buffalo. And let me tell you, I've been there. The people are out the door. They are to the rafters. It is one of the craziest environments for some UFC fights. Wing Mondays, they've got great deals on wings and drinks, and every day of the week there's a different special, a different deal. And don't forget the Bison Burger, the unbelievable. It is the combination of a fantastic burger and eating healthy combined into one unbelievable sandwich. You have got to get a Bison Burger while you're there. So whatever you're looking for, whatever day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays, there's something for you at the Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, just outside Great Northern Mall. Check them out today. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. Real time spent making real decisions, creating real victory.
I'm the greatest man in the world!
And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize. Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs.
The trophy's 12 feet high, and it is glorious!
Football, baseball, hoops, you name it, they have it. Plus, they have awesome draft kits and party supplies to make all your preseason activities the envy of everyone. If your league needs a ring, belt, or trophy, or you want to upgrade what you already have, there's literally only one place to go. If you're going to be a fantasy jock, do it right.
It's mine, the most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine.
With America's fantasy sports superstore, fantasyjocks.com. Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Plagans, the voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by GV Art and Design. Find all the hottest Cleveland sports gear online at gvartwork.com or at their brand new store on Detroit Avenue in Lakewood.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live. Final segment of the show across the Sports Fix radio network. Kendall Lewis doesn't appear. Hey, you know what? As soon as I say that, you know how live radio works. He'll call in. But if not, I just sent him a text message. I said, no worries, man, but I'm hitting the final segment, my friend. And if you're with me, you're with me. And if you're not, we'll see you next week, because it has been a struggle, but we're here. We put it through. I was just apologizing to my friends over in the chat room here. I said, hey, man, if I've been short with you guys, I'm sorry, but this has been a struggle today. I just saw, oh, by the way, Ryan Ruiz, you guys asking about him. See, somebody cares. Ryan's not here. Ryan, also under the weather, sick as a dog. He hit me up first thing this morning and said, J-Rock, there's no way I can do the show. I said, brother, I can't argue with you. There's no way I can do the show either. So hopefully he feels better, and looking forward to catching up with Ryan here next week on the show. Always a great time when he brings us the dog bones to victory, and you guys can check him out. Of course, that's right. You saw what I did, Charles. Sick as a dog. You guys can check out Ryan and his 3 dog bones on dogpoundnation.com, or check him out on Facebook and Twitter. Look him up, Ryan Ruiz, and check out his latest article. He's going to put out his dog bones for the weekend. Yeah, he may have got a bad bone there. I don't know. He has some bad meat on that bone, but it got him sick as well. So I can totally appreciate that. I got to tell you, this has just been the flu week, I think, around. A lot of you guys listening have hit us up and say, hey, man, I'm sick too, man. And just about every guest on the show has been under the weather at some point in the last couple of days. It's that time of year, man. I mean, no, nothing to cry about. It's that time of year. But anyways, man, I'm glad to be in the final segment of this one here. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm sitting here. I told him I'm sweating like I'm 3 feet from the equator today, man. And we got through it though. And I've still got a game to do tonight. I have still got a game to do later on this evening. For those of you that follow along with the high school sports that I do, I've got high school basketball tonight. Actually, they pulled a switch on me here. I am the voice of Willoughby South, of the Rebels basketball team. However, Willoughby South is at Geneva tonight, and there's computer issue. I don't know. The broadcast cannot be done. Geneva is not compatible for radio broadcast, so I've been reassigned. I'm going to do Eastlake North. I'm going to look at them for the first time tonight as they take on Ashtabula Lakeside tonight at Ashtabula Lakeside. So I'm going to head out to that side of town and cover Eastlake North. Both schools. It's my first time looking at them, so we'll see. We'll have some fun. Going to be interesting. But, yeah, I won't be calling South at Geneva tonight due to technical issues at Geneva High School. Looking forward to that still. First chance to look at North. And matter of fact, then I get to see. That's a good setup for me because next Tuesday, the Civil War, North and South, Eastlake North and Willoughby South meet each other at South. So I'll get a chance to look at that North squad. I told you guys, South can ball, man. And speaking of basketball, pick up where we were at the beginning of the show before we get out of here. You guys was talking Cavs. JK called in. We got rolling with the show. Talked a bit about the potential injury there and dodging a bullet by the Cavaliers. They did a good job of fighting back late, as we were alluding to. Down, I think I thought they were down 17, but I think they actually ended up down 20 at some point at their lowest, and they got it all the way back to a 3-point game coming down before OKC was able to pull away. And I think one of the big ones was when they took Delly off of Durant, because Kevin Durant last night, if you look, when Delly was guarding him, he was 2 of 10 points, and was being held pretty well. I saw ESPN stats and info. They actually said he was being held 3 feet further from basket for his average shot attempt than during the final 2 minutes of the game. The Cavs made a switch, and they put Kyrie on Durant for the final 2 minutes of the game. You've obviously got the height issue, but that was clearly a beneficial matchup for the Thunder and not the Cavaliers. Against Kyrie in the final 2 minutes, Durant went 4 of 4. And as I said, his average shot was nearly 3 feet closer to the basket. He got 9 points. That was the stretch that pulled it away. I mean, he just boom, boom, boom. And just like that, Cavaliers were right back in the hole, and it was too little too late. But Delly was doing a heck of a job last night up until that point against him. And I'll tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I think Delly should start, to be totally honest